All right, have you ever been in this situation where you want to try to accomplish something, but then you set out to do it and you end up failing? Just for myself recently, I wanted to try to do a 36-hour water fast and do it with some herbs to do it in a greater detoxification mode. And I got to about 24 hours and I failed. I was like, you know what, I can't handle this. Maybe like 25, 26 hours, and I was like, okay, that's it, I've had enough, so I decided to eat. And you know what, like it was good, like I still pushed my boundaries, but like I didn't really do what I wanted out to do. I didn't really do what I set out to do. And that's fine, right? I make mistakes, right? I'm human, right? But like, why did I fail? Why didn't I do what I wanted to do? And the reason is because first of all, I didn't make a decision and I had no leverage. Okay, so this is how you can accomplish anything and make it much more effective. It's essentially how to create change or how to accomplish a goal, or really anything that you want to change, or anything you want to change, or any goal you want to go after really passionately. So, and I've talked about leverage before, but it's such a huge, powerful tool, but I never really used it to get what I wanted, to really make a change. And so, as an example, here's what I'm doing right now, okay? So I'm doing a 1 week juice fast, okay? So I'm just gonna have juices for 1 week. So it could be apple juice, orange juice, celery juice, maybe I can do some combination juices. I was gonna do a blueberry juice because I got some blueberries, got some carrots, I'm gonna do some carrot juice. So I'm just gonna do juices, fresh, organic juices, raw for 1 week. Okay, so the first thing I did was I decided that I was gonna do this, okay? Now the best thing to do is to make your decisions when you're not in a bad state, right? So the problem is when I got into the water fast yesterday, I never made the decision when I was in a good state. The whole day I was kind of like, well, should I eat, should I not eat? So it's constantly going back and forth. And this is just maddening when we don't have a clear, decisive decision. And that's one of the biggest things I've noticed about people, and myself in general, is that most people don't know what they want. We're so distracted and inundated with all this stimuli that we never go after what we want. And the true key to success is it's picking a focus and just focusing on it. Sure, if it's the wrong thing, then but it doesn't matter. Pick something, right? There's no point in going willy-nilly all through life, not really going after what it is you really want, right? So if it's a better body, if it's to give up smoking, if it's to give up whatever food that's holding you back and making you gain weight and making your life miserable, go after it, make a change, right? Okay. So first thing, make your decision in a good state. So like this morning, I decided to do the juice fast, and you know, like I wasn't hungry when I woke up, so like I'm not stressing about, well, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? So like I felt good about the decision. The second thing is tell someone about the decision. If you tell someone about it, it makes it real. You have a little bit of accountability. So I told my little sister. Okay. The next thing I did is I told my little sister. I created leverage. All right. So like I said, the next thing I did with my sister is I created leverage. Okay, so now what leverage is it's associating massive, immediate pain to not doing what it is that you want to doing, and then pleasure to doing the new habit that you want to create. So, as an example, what I told my sister, and I'll tell you all right now, is I said I'm going to do 7 days, 1 week on juice. Okay? Now, if I don't do this, I will eat a mouse turd if I don't do this juice fast. Okay? And so now, I already know in my head that there's pain associated to not doing this juice fast. Okay? And it has to be immediate pain, right? Another really good example of this is my brother wanted to try going raw for 3 days, and he wasn't feeling that good, so he wanted to go raw, and he was feeling kind of like back and forth about it, and he wasn't committed. And so I finally pestered him. I was like, yo man, like, what happens? Let's create some leverage. Like, what's the pain that you're gonna do if you don't do this, right? And you want the pain to be something so strong that like you will go to the ends of the earth to avoid it, right? And people, like, as an example, like I told him, like, hey man, why don't you eat cat food? And he's like, no man, I would never ever do that. And I'm like, well, that's the point, right? You want to pick something you don't want to do, but that way you'll make sure you succeed in what it is you want to do. Like for me, the juice fasting, right? So my brother wanted to go raw for 3 days, and finally, after much deliberation, he came up with that he would lick a toilet seat if he cheated on his fast, or on his 3 days raw. Sure enough, he doesn't want to lick a toilet seat, and what do you know? He goes raw for 3 days and does it, right? And so if you create this pain association in your brain to failing what it is you want to do, you're probably going to do it, right? Because we want to avoid pain in our lives. So if we create pain to something that an old habit we don't want anymore, we're going to do it. But the thing is, so let's say for myself, let's just use the example, like let's say you have a potato chip habit and you're trying to, let's say the goal is to break and stop eating potato chips for 1 week, okay? And you say that you'll, eat cat poop, or just something really disgusting like that. Maybe you have a dog. You'll take a spoonful of the dog shit and you'll eat dog poo, okay? That's what you'll do, okay? Super disgusting, gross. Now, here's the thing that is super important with it. If you do break and eat potato chips, actually wait, I'm backing it up. Find someone and tell someone who will keep you accountable. Usually doesn't work if it's a friend. Usually it's better if it's someone you respect and someone who will hold you accountable to it, right? And the more people you tell, the more real it will be. But let's say you eat your potato chips when you said you wouldn't. You gotta eat the dog poo right away. You gotta make it immediate pain. Immediate pain. Because what'll happen is then you'll create this neuroassociation in your brain where you start to associate eating potato chips with dog poo. And so now what you've essentially done is you've scrambled your old pattern, right? So the old tape, we all have these emotional patterns and like basically these paths that we follow, these emotional patterns that we go through whenever we're stressed, whenever we're happy, all through our life, right? And so there's this emotional pattern that you go through, this habitual pattern that we go through when we indulge in all these different bad foods, right? And so if you had dog poo immediately after you cheated and had your potato chips when you weren't supposed to, you're now going to start to associate eating dog poo or eating potato chips with dog poo, and that old pattern is scrambled. So I bet you next time you go to think about potato chips, if you have that association of dog poo in your brain, it's never going to be the same for you. So it's going to kind of be a disgusting thing, right? So that's the first thing. That's the pain side of it, right? And so the next step we have to do, another other side of leverage is, so it's creating massive immediate pain to not doing or to cheating or not doing whatever you want to do. But the next thing is you want to create a pleasure to changing. So let's use the potato chip example again. Right? So this person, we need to ask what it is that they're getting, what sort of pleasure they're getting from this potato, like from eating potato chips. And so we want to try to recreate something that is more empowering, that gives us the same result. So let's just say that when the person is feeling stressed out, maybe they're tired or had a bad day, they usually tend to eat potato chips. It's how maybe they unwind at the end of the day, how they relax. Okay, it helps them relax. Let's just say that helps them relax. That is the emotional state they get from eating potato chips. It makes them feel comforted, it makes them feel relaxed. So write down a list of some other things that you could do to feel comforted, right? So maybe you, instead of eating potato chips when you're feeling stressed out, you take 5 or 10 minutes and do some deep breathing with some breath holds in the middle, right? Because if you're doing deep breathing, you're going to be a lot more calm. Maybe to find comfort, you decide you're going to cuddle with someone you love for a minute or two, right? So if you can create a pleasurable alternative, you're much more likely to succeed. Another example I'll use is for myself, is when I'm on juice fasting, when I'm doing the juice, I tell myself every time, because like it is a little challenging just doing juice and not chewing, and like the emotional change of not eating is kind of strange. So every time I juice, I tell myself, I love apple juice, right? So what I'm doing is I'm teaching my brain to associate massive amount of pleasure to this new pattern, this new habit that I want to create. And so maybe for the potato chips things, if it's not meditation or cuddling or something like that, maybe the new alternative is a way you can relax, is maybe you can have a healthy snack instead. Maybe it can be peas and carrots, or snap peas and carrots, or apples, or just something else that you can tell yourself that this is how you relax. And the thing is let's say you're doing that. Let's say you pick eating carrots instead as your alternative, right? So you're gonna eat carrots instead of every time when you would normally want potato chips. So every time you eat the carrots, because that's a much better choice, you eat the carrots, you need to reinforce and tell your body that that is a pleasurable thing. That's the new habit you want to have. If you're eating the carrots and you're like, oh man, carrots, man, I wish I was having potato chips. What you're teaching yourself is that you're associating carrots as painful, so you're going to want to avoid it. So you want to associate pleasure to the new habit. So if you eat the carrot, regardless if you don't like carrots nearly as much as the potato chips, you have to train your brain to be like, I love carrots, I love carrots, I love carrots, right? Same thing for me. I love apple juice, I love juicing, I feel so great, this is awesome. Do it every single time you partake in the new empowering habit, and you'll start to associate pleasure. You'll get a little dopamine hit every time you do the new pattern, and you'll be much more successful. And it's just, I've done it before. I did it when I did a week of apple juice, and it made the whole week effortless, because I knew if I didn't do it, I was gonna have to eat cat food. This time it's mouse turds. And if I just tell myself, I'm like, I love drinking apple juice, I love drinking orange juice, like it's so good. You can really start to change and accomplish anything that you want. And it just makes life, easier, because you go after what you want and you can get it. You can get it really, really quickly. So as a recap, okay, I'm recapping. I'm going a lot longer than I thought, because I love talking about this stuff. The first thing is decide what you want and decide to go for it, but do it when you're in a good, positive state. Don't decide to give up potato chips when you're hungry, thirsty, tired, it's late, you had a fight with your wife. Do it when you're in a good, sound mind, okay? All right? Second, and you know what? I mean, even if like as the potato thing, for example, the potato chip thing as an example, it doesn't have to, like, ideally if you want to change it for life, you can use these tools to make a change for life. But even if you just did it for a week or 2 weeks, you're still going to break the pattern, right? You're going to break the pattern, and next time you go back to potato chips, you might think about things a little bit differently, okay? So even just try it for like a week or two, if feeling like quitting for life is just too much. But yeah, tell someone, decide what you're gonna do and do it in a good state. Second thing, tell someone who will hold you accountable to this, okay? Don't tell your mom. My mom wouldn't hold me accountable to eating a cat turd. She'd let me wiggle out of it. My sister and some of my buddies, they'll make me eat a turd, okay? All right? And then create leverage, right? So create a massive amount of pain to not doing or doing the old habit that you want to break, okay? And so for me, the thing I'm not doing this week is I'm not eating solid food, right? So in my brain, solid food equals cat turd, okay? Oh, sorry, mouse turd. It's a mouse turd, much smaller, but still very gross. Okay, and so yeah, create the pain association, and remember, it has to be immediate, right? It doesn't work if you, if I were to say eat a whole apple and then wait a couple hours and then eat the mouse turd. No, it has to be immediate. Same thing if you eat the potato chip, you gotta eat, like in the other example, dog poo. I don't know why I'm going for feces so much, man. This is just like, I know it's gross, but it would work, right? Or for my brother, you gotta lick the toilet seat, right? Massive immediate pain, okay? Next step, third step, is to create pleasure, create a new empowering way of creating pleasure, right? And so again, for me, I'm not eating solid food, so the new alternative is juice, okay? And then the fourth, I think I'm at fourth step into creating this change, using leverage effectively, is to reinforce the positive pattern, right? So every time I have apple juice, oh, so good, man. So I get this little dopamine hit every time I have apple juice, and it's awesome. All right, so that's it. I hope you found this effective. Let me know if anyone tries this, or if you need someone to hold you accountable, please let me know, because I would love to see if this be an effective tool for somebody else and for everyone else in the world, because yeah, just like I love it. It works. Leverage is incredible, and we need to use it more to accomplish our goals. Anyways, that's everything. If anyone has any questions, let me know. And if you want to type your goal and your leverage below or anything like that, feel free. If you need some help implementing with some leverage, book a call, and a free call, and I'll help you get set up. And I hope everyone is doing well, and adios.